Hey everyone, we're back with our sequel to our first episode of our podcast, Pitch Guys, and how fitting that we're dedicating this second installment to sequels. We hope you'll join us on this joyride over the next hour and some as we pitch a number of sequels, including some unique and sometimes disturbing twists for franchises such as Free Willy and Avatar, to name but a few. And parents, if you have kids in the room while you're listening to this, for the love of God, put some headphones on. Some topics just aren't meant for delicate ears. That being said, let's dive right into Pitch Guys, Episode 2, The Reckoning. So
I
that's
still
good.
have not listened to a podcast.
You might want to consider doing that. I've got some good recommendations for you.
I kind of like the idea of keeping myself pure now. Non-objective. Kind of like when an artist learns to paint, people don't respect that artist anymore as an artist, but mostly those long, like, turtleneck sweater wearing types. The hippies.
I think of you as the Stanley Kubrick of the podcast world.
Oh, he's
Stanley,
dead now.
he was a perfectionist. Actually, I don't know if he actually ever watched his own films, but I'm thinking that it might have been too difficult for him to actually watch it. But
I don't know if he knew he was making films. He was a nutty guy.
Yeah, that's true. Well, he did help to fake the moon landing, as we all know. So
Yeah, we talk about movies a fair bit.
that's true.
Yeah.
And on the topic of movies, our topic this week is going to be sequels. I love sequels.
Yeah.
How about you guys?
I like originals.
Originals?
I like the first movie usually the most, but there are some sequels I like.
I don't know. I can think of a few instances where the sequel has trumped the original movie. Yeah. For example, I don't think there are too many people that would dispute this, but Empire Strikes Back is a masterpiece of a sequel.
Yeah, I would say it's better than the first, but the first is still great.
It's true, but I don't know. Maybe it's the fact that
I don't mean like episode 1.
No, you're talking about you're talking about Star
Number
Wars.
3.
Yeah, exactly. So
And I like Ninja Turtles 2.
you're talking when you're talking about Ninja Turtles 2.
Oh, yeah, I mean
you're
like the early
talking about the
90s.
guys in suits Ninja Turtles.
Yeah, the rubber suits.
You know, I can't really comment on that. I don't recall. I recall the first one, but I cannot recall the sequel.
The
it
Recall
called?
the third one. I think they were in Japan in the third one.
The third one was terrible, and usually you'll find that the third sequel is terrible in a lot of franchises. But number 2 had Super Shredder. So I don't know how it didn't win an Academy Award.
So I remember Spider-Man 2. Spider-Man was okay, and I'm talking about
Tobey
the
Maguire.
Spider-Man that came out in 2001, directed by Sam Raimi. That was a decent movie. But Spider-Man 2, to me, is one of the ultimate superhero sequels of all time. I think it's an amazing, really well done film.
Alfred Molina made a good bad guy. Good
That's
Doc
true.
Ock.
And I maybe it's just me, but I seem to like it when characters get really shit on. And in that movie, Peter Parker has a pretty rough time of things. So
Enough to turn him emo for the horrible third movie. That killed the whole franchise. So again, the third sequel is often the worst.
that's true.
Another one, the worst third sequel is Godfather 3. I hate that movie.
I don't know if I should admit this, and I'm a bit of a film buff, but I've never watched Godfather.
Oh,
And I apologize.
I don't know why we're doing
that
this.
offends
then.
you.
No, it's fine.
I've actually only ever seen pieces of it. It's my father-in-law's most favorite movie of all time.
I have all 3 in physical format. We could watch them after this.
We should watch them maybe while we're doing the podcast.
record like a behind the scenes you can listen to while you watch it.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
actually
Accompaniment track.
thought of an idea of a YouTube broadcast. I don't know if that's what you call them. YouTube channel, where you just watch movies with guys while they're watching movies. In case you're lonely and you wanted to like rip through all like the Indiana Jones movies, but you don't have anyone to watch them with. These guys tell you when they're going to start watching them, and you just watch it at home, or you can watch. I guess they couldn't really show it on theirs without piracy, but
So it's a live stream.
yeah, they are going live at this time. We're going to put the disc in and hit play now. We're going to rent it digitally, whatever. Get ready to hit play at home, and we'll watch it while you watch it, and we'll comment together. But that exists.
It does. I think it actually
Yeah.
does exist.
Every idea
Right.
you have will exist.
We've
so.
been through this before. I mean, we pitched a lot of ideas last episode.
I don't think your gravy restaurant has ever been thought of.
That's true.
And that
that
was
is
gold.
truly
That's
original.
That was brown gold.
In fact, so just to reiterate, and not to spend a lot of time on this, you
No,
should go back
let's not,
and
yeah.
listen to episode 1. But
yeah.
I had the idea that we should start a series of artisanal. How do you say that word?
Artisanal graveries.
Artisanal graveries where we serve
It's called
nothing,
Gravy Garden.
Gravy Garden, where we serve nothing but gravy out of a trough in the middle of a pretty nice
dining trough.
restaurant.
Yeah.
Close to Red Lobster, if possible. If that real estate is available, that's the best place for it. So, but yeah, that idea may have been original. So it's good that we had at least one
Yeah.
that maybe nobody's thought of. But the majority of them, I mean, let's be honest.
Good to have a nest egg idea.
Exactly. That's the one that we are going to retire on. So, for sure. Now, we also talked about Jesus and Chewbacca, and if we could somehow have an episode where Jesus and Chewbacca came to the Gravy Garden, then you really have something.
Have a plug for the
Last
Gravy
Supper,
restaurant right in there. Oh, the Last Supper is just gravy.
Them sitting around a giant trough of gravy.
It's a simple meal.
You've got Jesus on he's in the center. That's the Last Supper. And then Chewie could be to the right or to the left. I don't know.
I like the painting.
It would be good. You've got some artistic skills. Could you create that for us?
Could I create the Gravy Restaurant? Could I create?
No,
Create
the
a
last
supper at the Gravy
version
Garden.
with the Gravy Garden. Yeah,
Yeah, I think anybody with Photoshop or something like that could.
yeah.
Yeah.
So, guys, on this topic of sequels, can you tell me what your favorite sequel is
I
of
did.
all time?
Ninja Turtles.
Ninja. That's true. You
Well,
did,
I
but-
don't know if that's my favorite of all time,
Yeah.
but I think it's definitely a good one.
Mm-hmm.
Now I'm just thinking of movies that should have had sequels.
I'm wondering if it's pre-planned that it's going to have a ton of extra films. Is it classified as a sequel? I think
Like if you know it's a series?
like Lord of the Rings. Is that a sequel? Harry Potter, is that a sequel or is it just
Yeah, let's count
one
it.
That's a
super
good
long
point.
movie?
But to me, The Lord of the Rings stands as its own thing. Like, that's not a sequel. They knew they were going to make those movies.
Right.
A sequel is like when something is
Something
so
goes
successful.
well, and then they think, "Oh shoot, let's
Right.
make another one."
Let's make another one.
And what really pisses me off is when they assume you're going to want a sequel when you might not. I just
Yeah.
saw this movie, Alita Battle Angel, over the weekend. And it's actually a pretty good movie.
It looks cool.
It's pretty decent, but the last 10 minutes of it ruined it for me, and I'm not going to give away any spoilers here, but everything was setting up for another movie, and I really wish they would have at least resolved some story or come to some ending, but it's kind of left on a cliffhanger. So
Now you're going to have to pony up the dough in a year from now or two.
well, the sad thing is, apparently, it's not doing very well in the box office. So I think we're going to be left with a cliffhanger, and then we're never going to get a movie.
I don't think we should differentiate between series and sequels. Otherwise, we won't be able to think of anything because we're pretty lazy.
That's true. Yeah.
Yeah. But I would say the Lord of the Rings series, both sequels are great, but all three are great.
So, Derek, what about you? Do you have a favorite sequel?
Oh gosh,
It's going to be like Land Before Time 14.
Is that the Will Ferrell Land? No, wait,
did-
no,
I
that's
did
not Land
enjoy that.
Before Time.
No.
I'm totally off.
I actually, we were talking about this, my wife and I, the other day. I don't know why. Maybe because I was thinking about sequels. Was that, and this is going to illustrate that, I don't know, the kind of movies I'm watching right now in my lifetime. But I don't think Pixar puts out bad sequels. I was thinking about it, and I was thinking about all the Pixar films, and I think about just regular Disney films, and I think, like. I don't know if there's a Pocahontas 2, but all the Princess 2 movies
I think there is a
are pretty
Pocahontas 2.
terrible.
There is,
Aladdin 2,
yeah,
they're
yeah,
all
yeah.
pretty terrible.
No,
But
Aladdin 2 is
Okay,
good.
but that's not a
puts
Pixar
out,
movie.
But
Yeah.
Pixar, when
Right.
they partner in, Pixar puts out pretty solid films, I think, for
You're
the most
right,
part.
because I think that the way Disney looks at it, and I know that Pixar is a branch of Disney, but Disney looks at it as an opportunity to make money. And it seems like Pixar has always been just a little bit more pure. Of course, they're money driven. I mean, we've seen an Incredibles 2, we've seen a Toy Story 3, and there's a Toy Story 4 coming out.
Yeah.
But at least they look at it through the filter of, okay, we're going to make a sequel, but we are going to tell a great story. Like the Toy Story movies are a masterpiece. Every single one of them is amazing.
Even if you watch it now, like when was the first Toy Story? Like
Toy Story was
in the
about
90s?
1995.
And it still holds up.
It does, because they tried to tell a story that was not only for kids, but was for adults as well. So
I think another huge difference is the Disney sequels, for the most part, were all straight to video. So they didn't even put like the same production quality into them. And Aladdin,
and sometimes
way
had
back in the
sound
day.
alikes, I think.
Yeah,
as far
Aladdin
as-
2 had different voice actors. They got the voice of Homer Simpson instead of Robin Williams to be Genie. And the colors keep popping. They keep changing. If you watch, like, the skin tones and everything keep changing all weird and trippy. The third one was actually much better than the second one. But I remember when I first saw a sequel to like one of the Disney classic movies, and it kind of blew my mind. And there was actually one in the 80s for Snow White.
Okay, Snow
was-
White 2?
Yeah, that was it's
Snow
called
White.
Happily Ever After.
Oh, really?
And it's creepy and just crappy, and it's it was the first sequel I was ever aware of.
What's the premise behind Happily Ever After?
I don't know. I completely blocked it out. Maybe it's one of those like weak stories where she has a kid and the kid's getting
By
hunted
one of
and
the
has
dwarfs?
to go, yeah, maybe
It's just-
has to go live in the woods as
Some
well.
awkward. Yeah.
Some shit happened in Snow White. Yeah.
I think Terminator 2 was a good, good
Oh,
sequel.
that's a good
Was it
sequel,
ever?
yeah.
It was amazing.
James Cameron is directing the next Terminator movie, and he's got
know-
a lot of the original cast coming back.
It's funny, I have a lot of notes about sequels, and for some reason, and this wasn't intentional, but the majority of them are James Cameron films. I don't know.
Yeah.
There's something about James Cameron
Because it
that
takes
lends
forever to make a
itself-
movie. So
exactly, it's true. It's
worthwhile.
like Avatar. Does anyone care anymore? So here's my idea for Avatar. I only have a title, so that's all I have to go on. It's gonna, and this is really gonna
Wasn't that your title that you just said?
no.
Oh, that's a good one.
This is going to be maybe a little controversial, and it would really piss people off. But I want to call Avatar 2. Okay, here it is. Avatar 2. I can't even say it.
Can't even say the name.
Avatar 2, The Squeak Wall.
Oh my god! Take that, Alvin. Avatar 2: The Squeakle. Yes, I think it has to be that now. The Squeakle. Avatar is kind of a sequel to Dances with Wolves, is it not?
That's true.
Yeah.
They should get Kevin Costner into
Kevin
the
Costner.
Kevin Costner.
That's his cousin.
He's cheaper than
I-
Kevin.
Yeah.
But they should get Kevin Costner into Avatar 2. It'd be really great.
Well, there's
So,
3 more Avatar movies, or 4 more
a
coming.
lot.
Yeah.
When are they coming? I don't know.
I
Quite
don't
some
know.
time from now.
James Cameron keeps teasing them. It's been like 10 years since the first one. Disney World is already committed to a whole Avatar world that
Wow.
they've been building.
I predict a total fail.
Yeah.
It's been too long.
It's too hyped now.
It's no longer relevant. Nobody cares.
No.
So what do? If you were in charge of producing Avatar 2, what do we do with it?
I definitely use the Squeakquel as the title now.
So it's a crossover with Alvin and the Chipmunks. Do we have the Chipmunks in it? Or we just call it that to confuse everyone?
I think to intrigue people. I don't think it'd be impossible to, dump the chipmunks into it somehow.
Just
They're
this kind
the
of
villains, or they're just a side character.
narrating. They could
Narrating.
narrate
There
the
you go.
story, but that's it,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Alvin!
I don't know how you.
You've got, so at the end of Avatar, oh boy, it's been a long time, but
I watched it a
You've
week
got a-
ago, actually.
really? Yeah. So you've got a character named Jake Sully.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jake Sully
turns into,
spoilers.
oh, yeah, sorry.
Spoilers.
Spoilers.
It's been a while, but spoilers.
You don't want to wreck anyone's day.
So Jake Sully becomes, I don't know what those creatures are called, Navi.
Yeah.
Navi.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Navi.
Navi.
And
Nazi.
the other one,
know.
the lead
Nazi.
scientist, she becomes
Sigourney Weaver.
Yes, she becomes. I don't know what her character name is, but she
Right.
becomes a Navi too, right? They
So-
save her life and she becomes
Okay. Okay.
Actually, it's
so now
built
we've
into
got
Sigourney Weaver's contract that in every movie she's just called Sigourney. So if you look back at any movie she's ever been in, her character is named Sigourney.
interesting.
Yeah, it's hard to fit into a lot of plots, but
Yeah.
they do it.
Yeah.
So Jake Sully at the end of Avatar becomes one of the Na'vi.
Yeah,
So the second episode or the second
movie.
movie in the trilogy or whatever, the quadrology or whatever,
Quintilogy.
yeah, could be just a domestic kind of situation. It's him, he's a house husband.
This
getting
sounds
used
like
to
our Game of Thrones sitcom idea from episode 1 of this. Yeah.
Nothing really happens. I mean,
No.
the Earthlings have left.
Yeah.
And he's living in a tree with this woman and raising children. It turns out the Na'vi, actually, it's the men who birthed the children.
Yeah.
So
He didn't know about that ahead of time.
He know.
Yeah.
He didn't,
Oh,
and
yeah, that'd be
he's been turned into
Something that might have changed his mind.
So he's been turned into this Na'vi. He's
Childbirth
like,
is no walk in the park.
No kidding. That's the tagline for the film.
Avatar 2, childbirth.
Avatar,
It's no walk in the park.
Avatar 2, the squeakquel.
It's no walking in the park.
Childbirth is no walk in the park.
No walk in the park.
Okay, we have to do the poster for this, definitely. This seems like a Photoshop
I think we could
job.
just take that poster for that Arnold Schwarzenegger movie Junior where he gets pregnant and just change his skin tone blue. Put a forest background behind it, call it a day.
It sounds good.
Yeah.
So,
Maybe it's like a nosy neighbor who constantly is like peering over, like a Wilson kind of thing. He's just always there.
Yeah.
and I picture the poster is like Jake Sully, the new Na'vi, has like a kid in each arm. He's got a kid under each arm. And he's, I don't know, like there's grilled cheese sandwiches on the stove and the smoke is rising from there. And he's trying to heat up a bottle at the same time. And it's
Trying to plug his hair braid into some animal at the same time. The dog's not listening, so he's trying to meld with it. Just teach it not to go on the rug.
Do you think the Na'vi could braid their hair into their kids' hair and then they just like
Oh, that'd be-
mind
I
control?
don't
You just
know.
Almost
do what you want to
abusive.
do, you know?
Or incestuous.
He's like, hey, where were you? You're getting home late. And then they just link their heads together. That's
You just see all their
invasion of
memories.
privacy.
Yeah.
So the whole Avatar thing, I mean, much to everyone's surprise, becomes just a family drama.
Yeah.
Kind of like This Is Us, maybe.
Yeah, like a really
I was
deep,
thinking about
like,
like Family Matters, where
Right.
it's a little,
introspective one, dark at times.
With
But-
an Urkel-like Na'vi character.
Yeah, and you're not
maybe you
guaranteed
could
a
work
happy
that
ending.
into the chipmunk voiceovers, you know.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't
Get
know it then,
Jaleel White back. Family Matters.
Yeah, you got this Na'vi.
A
who's
Family
got
Matters Navi.
You got this Na'vi. Did he have? What do you call them?
Suspenders.
Suspenders, right?
Yeah.
And this Na'vi who's always hiking up his suspenders and making the cute catchphrases
Yeah.
and sitcom territory.
Yeah.
A little bit, but
Yeah. I think if you twist the theme of a lot of these movies with the sequel, it would be really funny or interesting.
yeah. So I think we've got our first idea there.
Yeah.
Avatar to
Squeakquel.
the Squeakquel.
Yeah.
And it's a big family drama for 3 films. It's just going to totally... Now, can you imagine... They've got a ride either at Universal Studios or Disney World, or I'm not sure where it is.
Disney World, I think.
But how do you tie that sequel in? It's just a big family drama. Are they like riding like a car through their Na'vi house? And
I think you put a helmet with an extension cord on the kid, and then your kid has to try. Oh, my phone went off. My kid tries to latch, I guess, with some of the movie props, the ride props, and it's just incredibly dangerous. But you know that getting into the ride.
you should have to
It's going to be
somehow
like
connect.
a VR ride where you connect in but then you're just getting yelled at by Jake Sully. And he's your dad or something. And
I think you get on.
Well, they put a VR helmet on you, and then at some point, some random ride dude guy tries to attach suction cups to your nipples
Yeah.
to simulate the whole
Your
experience. Nipples. The whole experience of actually being connected via your hair braid.
Nickels could be the sequel to
total
Nipples when we evolve. Oh, and then you go a little further down the track, and there's just some other like ride attendant who throws like corn syrup in your face, and then blue dust, and then you're an avatar. That's your ride. Magic.
You come out in blue face.
Yeah, you're blue-faced. Yeah.
Ooh, that's controversial.
Yeah, that is controversial.
You need to be careful
Yeah.
with that
they already-
blue-face stuff.
Arrested Development already did everything he can with that.
Well, you could have, what are those, the drummer guys? What
The
are
Blue
they
Man
called?
Group.
The Blue Man Group
Ah,
could be
yeah,
in
yeah.
there.
Yeah.
Could be part of it. That should be
Oh,
part of
yeah.
the Avatar 2, the Squeakquel soundtrack by the Blue Man Group.
Yeah.
Yeah, like when movies sometimes have musicians play themselves in the movie.
Right.
You know, that'd be all right.
I think it's a really good idea. So
Yeah.
there we go.
That's a go, I think.
Avatar
I
2,
can't see
the
a way that could go
Squeakquel.
down.
I don't have time. I'm not going to have time to Photoshop this week.
No.
This guys. So
No.
if somebody out there could do that and send it on to us, that
That'd be
would be
awesome.
greatly appreciated. It's that time where we have our shameless plug of the episode.
Got to pay the bills.
Exactly. We've got fake sponsors. We don't actually have sponsors yet. But,
We have not been authorized by these people to advertise them in any way.
But I think the whole idea is, if we pick a few products that we truly believe in and they see what we're doing, that it could really go somewhere. And then we'll actually get sponsors.
A product I really believe in
Yes.
and
true.
have for a long time,
Right?
Payless shoes.
Oh, Payless shoes. I could not agree with you more.
It's right in the name too. Like you do pay less, and it's a very affordable product.
I know. And quality.
Oh, yeah.
Like everything from the signature styles to the classic kicks.
Yeah, I've taken Reeboks back to stores, but I've never taken a Payless shoe back.
I recall just the amount of time and attention that was given to me when I went there one time. We were trying on shoes with the family.
Oh, they have great people there.
And it was amazing. They took the time to
Yeah.
really make sure that we had shoes that fit us. It
Yeah.
was special.
Guys, have you seen the news lately on Payless?
No,
Yeah.
but
Oh, and the people they hire, and it's people like I know, and just great people.
Have you,
I know
have
at
you talked
least
to those
I know
people
at
all?
least
Well, I don't know anyone who works for them right now.
I know.
but-
Well, I know at least 5 people, and I can
Wow.
tell you, I have a story about Payless shoes. And one of the things that's special to me is that my first child was actually born in a Payless shoes.
Oh yeah,
It was. We
remember
weren't
that.
expecting it. My wife was at 38 weeks.
weren't you gonna almost call him loafer? I'm kidding, but
we
yeah,
thought about it.
I know
but,
this. Yeah.
I know it's really important to you.
No, but let me just finish my
hold on,
story
Derek.
there.
All right.
So,
All right.
the water broke and we had no choice. That baby was coming. And
Yep.
so there were at least 3 employees there who they were busy selling shoes, but they put everything aside and they made sure that our son was brought into this world safely.
Yeah, created a little
So-
bassinet on the fly out of slippers. Is that not true?
No, that's fairly accurate.
Just
so,
wonderful people, and just go the extra mile. And I think that they're a business model that every other company should be looking at and just trying to emulate.
Your wife's water breaking makes me think of
it's
something
very
else.
emotional to me
Yeah.
just to think about everything that they've done in my life, and I know that all that they've done for the environment, and it's just an incredible company.
Yeah, winter, fall, spring, summer, they have you covered,
And
and
the
they're going to be
Crocs.
around. The Crocs. Well, I don't know if that's their product, but their gambit of shoes that they carry.
They have vacay-ready sandals.
Oh, yeah.
I have never thought of a company that is more ethical or more suited for.
Guys, they're shutting down all their stores in North America. This spring, they're done.
What?
This spring, they already haven't paid rent on 200 stores. They're shutting them all down.
Payless.
Payless shoes, yeah.
The Payless shoes.
They rebranding.
Like your wife's water, they are also broke.
Oh my God.
Oh.
Sorry to tell you that.
I've always liked Foot Locker. You pay more, but they're a good shoe company.
Very true. Very true. Well, that was our shameless plug for the week. So good luck to Payless shoes.
Good deals till they're gone, though.
So, boys, we were talking about sequels.
Yeah.
And I had the Squeakquel.
Yeah. Avatar the Squeakquel.
I have a pile of other ideas written down. Do you guys have anything other that
You
you
wrote
want to share?
down ideas?
I do. I'd like to prepare for these things.
I'm coming in cold. I didn't know.
I was thinking, they had Full House, right? That was a pretty big thing for me growing up, watching Full House. We'd come home, and now they have Fuller House,
Yeah.
right? Follows DJ Tanner.
Yeah.
But I was always thinking about like, what if there was, what if it just followed Steve? I don't know if you guys ever watched Full House, but like,
Who's Steve?
DJ had a boyfriend, and basically the only thing that happened was he would come into the house. The dad didn't like him. He would like open the fridge, eat pizza, hang out for a bit, and leave. That was it. That was like the basis of his story character. But I always want to know, like, what's he doing all the rest of the time?
So
Where is Steve?
this is the guy. I hate to say that I know nothing about Full House.
You know
didn't
nothing
watch it.
about Full House?
Well, very little. I know
That's
there were
okay.
twins involved,
Yeah.
and they played the same person.
Yeah, true story.
Full House was the launching pad for Bob Saget to the ultimately far more successful America's Funniest Home Videos.
That's true. So was DJ okay? What was the boyfriend's name?
Steve.
Steve. And was he in Fuller House too, or was he only in Full House?
You know, I don't know how much he's in or not in Fuller House. I'm not a huge Fuller House
Fuller
fan.
House is still
I would
going.
imagine that he probably wasn't up to much, and my guess is that he's probably in Fuller House as well.
Yeah, well, I'm just wondering, like, does he have like? I would like to see a show around him. Like, what's his backstory? Where is he when he's not there?
It's just going to be disturbing shit.
Yeah, I think
Turns
that
out
it
he's
should
a
be
serial
much
killer?
less wholesome than he. Yeah.
How about this? Maybe if they do a show of him, he has teamed up with every other kind of side boyfriend from every other sitcom of the same era, and they're all living together as roommates.
And they're all gay.
Well, they don't need to be.
No, okay.
But they're close.
Yeah.
But Jazz from Fresh Prince maybe is like
Yeah,
living with them.
yeah.
Kind of ringleader. He's always getting thrown out, right? I don't know if Family Matters had any undesirable boyfriends that were getting chucked out a lot. Oh, Fresh Prince also had that Trevor guy, but I think he died.
That was in a very special episode.
It wasn't that special. They just
no.
kind of mentioned it as a side thing.
Did they write him out? What happened?
The older sister's boyfriend or
Hillary
husband or
was
something.
dating Trevor.
Yeah.
And Trevor was weird to begin with. But yeah, I think he just died. They didn't show it. Maybe it was a skydiving thing. I think he was proposing to Hillary in an episode, and they had like a live record or a live broadcast of it, him proposing, but then you hear him thud
Oh my
because
god!
the chute doesn't open.
And is that funny?
It was pretty funny at the time. When you're a kid watching that, it's pretty funny, but now that you understand death better,
It doesn't see. It seems really quite dark, actually.
there were some dark Fresh
that
Prince
they,
moments.
that they took that.
Yeah. So yeah, maybe side characters
Yeah.
or thrown out boyfriends just team up, and that's Filled Up House. Or
It's like a Big Brother kind of thing. Maybe it's
yeah.
like a reality TV show mockumentary.
yeah.
You know, where it's
The
like,
guy who used to live in the Roseanne family's basement.
Well, I was going to go with the title "Fullest House," but it
Fullest.
doesn't really seem appropriate when we're just talking about Steve.
Yeah.
No, fair
Yeah.
story.
We could get really meta, and it should be happening like when the other episodes were happening, like when Steve pops in for pizza, and then he goes back to his house. What happens?
Yeah.
And it's just him furiously masturbating for like the whole 22-minute episode, right?
Maybe he just goes back to an alternate dimension.
No, I think it starts with like, you know, you always have that little short sting of sitcom music to start, and then you have the applause.
Yeah.
And you would start with him actually in the house. He's grabbed the pizza, and then he's off for the rest of the episode, and he goes back home, and he's just masturbating like a madman. The whole thing. It's off screen.
Yeah. I don't know if that would still make it fly on ABC or whatever it was.
Takes away from the family values, but
Previously
Yeah.
on Steve's house or whatever.
Steve's House is
Yeah.
a good name for the show.
what's
And
with
you'd
Steve?
realize so much more about him, that he was actually just a total creep. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What's another sequel they should do?
Well, I mean, I think I've seen this before. I had this idea, but like we said, all ideas have been taken. But Titanic too.
Yeah, James
I mean-
Cameron again.
It always pissed me off that Jack was not given room on that door beside Rose.
Yeah, she had plenty of room.
There was a lot of room on that door,
Yep.
and she didn't. She was selfish.
Yeah, she stared into his
She-
eyes while his eyes froze.
So then Jack goes under, and it's kind of like Captain America. Maybe something brings him back. I'm not sure. Like 70 years later,
Yeah.
Titanic 2, Jack is back, and this time he's angry. And he's going
think-
after Rose and all of her relatives, and he is going to eradicate them. And he wears a Jason mask while he does it.
It's a revenge movie and supernatural.
Yeah,
I like it. And he's got an army of Titanic ghosts.
true. He wears a hockey mask.
Yeah.
And he only attacks people that have been having teenage sex with each other.
It's morally guided.
So it turns out...
I like that he found a hockey mask somewhere on the Titanic.
He found it underneath, right? He was in there.
Yeah.
That's at least an hour of the movie is him looking for this thing. And then when he gets out, it segues into the original Friday the 13th.
Oh,
Nobody
an
realized
origin. It comes full circle.
Those things were connected.
That's why he's so powerful, is because he was a frozen 100-year-old corpse. Well, I guess he would have been a 60-year-old corpse when the first Friday came out, but no one knew that.
No.
Actually, your idea is a blatant ripoff of a little skit done during, I think, an MTV awards show.
Yeah.
Where they actually came up with the idea of Titanic 2.
Okay.
I don't know what the premise was. Like, the survivors had actually, like, the victims had survived in some kind of air pocket down there for years. It was a dumb idea, but I like your idea of turning it into a horror revenge teen murder
It's
thing.
totally different. It's nothing like the first Titanic.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Another Cameron sequel.
Maybe Jack the ghost or Jack the zombie or whatever he's become is obsessed with still painting Rose in the nude. Oh. Even 100-year-old Rose.
He doesn't even have hands.
Gandhi.
Oh, yeah. Gandhi stumbles across Gravy Garden.
He actually has an adamantium skull. Sorry, let me start that again. He has an adamantium skull. Shit. He has an adamantium skeleton grafted into him.
Gandhi.
It totally changes things.
Like Wolverine.
Yeah, it's. I think it'd be
That would
great.
become the next big superhero franchise, and the kids watching it wouldn't even know about the original Gandhi.
Yeah.
They wouldn't even know the movie.
And it still preaches pretty much the same thing. It's the whole passive resistance, except that he's got these claws.
He's a walking tank.
Yeah. So, I mean, he can be passively resistant because he can pretty much endure anything.
Yep.
I think it's a really good idea.
Yeah, I think Ben Kingsley would be all over it.
I'm glad that we picked Ben Kingsley to reprise the role.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ben Kingsley's maybe getting a bit old for it. Who would we bring? Hugh Jackman?
He's spry. Hugh Jackman. You
Hugh
just
Jackman
want
has played Wolverine.
Yeah,
So
so you just basically want to do Wolverine's character, but throw the Gandhi name over it so people will buy into it. Pretty good.
I think it's
Oh,
delightful.
that could be the next thing, actually. They
What's
could
that?
just take existing characters and reboot movies with that character in place of the original character.
Oh,
Better, well-known characters.
yeah.
You know?
Or just do biopics,
Yeah.
but make them more superheroic,
Or biopics of fictional characters.
right?
Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Wolverine the biopic.
Yeah.
Well, isn't that the definition of a fictional movie? I mean, it is
just-
a biopic of a fictional character.
You just blew my mind.
Yeah, well, that was deep.
Yeah.
If you want to meditate to this or furiously masturbate, just like DJ
Just go
from
for it,
Full
yeah.
House, go for it.
Steve.
Steve.
Not
was the
DJ,
girl.
Steve.
Steve's DJ's boyfriend.
Yeah.
Wasn't it DJ?
DJ's the girl.
Yeah.
Oh, oops. That was a
DJ's not
total
involved
slip.
in the reboot of
No.
or the sequel.
No.
Oh, this is bad. Or the squeakquel, for that matter.
One movie that I'd like to see a sequel of, I'm back on sequels. I know this movie already got a bunch of sequels. I didn't bother watching them. Free Willy.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. There were actual, like, straight to video Free Willy sequels. And they looked terrible, so I didn't watch them.
How many of them are there?
There was at least 2, I would say. I don't know how many total. But they were always like, let's help this animal. Free Willy kind of helps them. I don't know. I'm just guessing. I never really watched them. You know?
Derek, have you seen the Free Willy movies?
Yes, Shananai Umaisis.
Oh,
That's,
okay.
one of my.
I think you watched it yesterday.
Yeah.
I think there might be 3 of them, actually.
There's Free Willy, Free
Yeah.
Willy 2, The Adventure Home, Free Willy 3, The Rescue, and Free Willy escape from Pirates Cove.
Oh my God.
Actually, I think Blackfish may have been an unofficial sequel to Free Willy.
Yeah, that was the sad one.
Yeah.
Definitely. How about Free Willy 4 Cybertronic Parts?
Ooh.
Like, that's not
yeah,
an
yeah.
official
He comes
title.
back with Cybertronic parts.
Yeah, exactly. They have
Someone
to
has modded
rebuild
him.
him.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's been modded, and he is dangerous.
People think that he'd be grateful to Jesse after he helped him get over the breakwater, but I think he'd come back with a
just
lot
wants
of
to be
pain
back
in
in
his
there.
heart, and he'd be looking for some revenge. You know, like a killer whale is dangerous, but you
And
get
he
one on
learns-
land with purpose and some form of mobility. Buckle up.
These Cybertronic parts actually have allowed him to navigate on land.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a little knock on Jesse's door. And,
Oh, yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah, forget
Or is
little.
he after Jesse, or is he just after? Is he after the man?
I think we're introduced to Jesse and his family, and things are going really well. Jesse's grown up,
Yeah.
and he's got some kind of high-end investment job,
He's got his own kids.
and he's established himself with his firm, and you know he's in with the in-laws. He likes them, and they go on vacations. But then just one night after he finishes kissing his kids to bed, or kissing his kids and putting them to bed, kissing his kids to bed. Once he puts his kids to bed, and he tells his wife, "I'll be up in a minute."
Yeah.
He goes downstairs, he starts cleaning up. All of a sudden he hears this high pitched like squealing off in the distance or a cry, right? And he thinks nothing of it at first, but it's foreboding. And then the knock on the door, and then the carnage ensues.
And Willy's at the door.
Yeah.
Do they have a conversation, or is it just freaking violent?
I think
right?
they have a conversation with their eyes.
Yeah.
Like,
Just
they
staring.
lock eyes, and it's an intense moment.
Yeah.
And they both know what each other's thinking.
Yeah.
And then maybe that catchphrase makes it into the movie that you just said, that garbage.
What's your catchphrase?
The thing you just said from the actual Free Willy movie.
Shananai and Isis?
Yeah.
That one, maybe. Does he think it's like does he misinterpret Willy? He thinks it's going to be like
Yeah.
they're going to hug it out, but
Yeah.
Yeah. And he
lets his guard
destroys him.
down.
just gets like
He destroys
slapped in
him.
the face with the tail or something.
Yeah. He lets his guard down, and Willy has hardened his heart. He is not going to let his
Could
guard
do a
down
play
one
like
bit.
for the T-shirts, like you're in the splash zone, but it's actually
Yeah.
blood.
Now,
He's teamed up with
What
John
was the name?
McClane.
It was Jesse,
Jesse.
right?
Yeah.
And then not only has Willy killed Jesse, but then he takes on Jesse's identity.
Oh.
He actually becomes a part of the family.
Yeah.
He's able to effectively disguise himself.
And the wife starts to have her suspicions, but she has to keep the ruse up to protect the children.
Yeah.
And she can't say. And she's living in her own personal hell every day, going to the grocery store and running into friends, and she's not allowed to tell them.
She's thinking like, Jesse's gained a little bit of weight, but I'm
Yeah.
going to support him.
And it is ironic that Willy was freed only to come back and imprison this poor family. And it becomes this thriller psycho. Yeah, Free Willy. That could be a riveting piece.
I think it's great. Do you have a tagline for it? Is it just Free Willy 5 or 4 or
Oh, you
whatever
could
it is?
throw
or
in something lazy like Free Willy, The Reckoning.
The Reckoning. Actually, I think there's a whole series of new movies here. The first one is Revenge. The second one is
Free
Him Assuming
Willy
Identity.
Forget.
Yeah.
Or won't he?
The third one in this new series is him being successful on Wall Street.
In this hypothetical Free Willy series?
Yeah.
Yeah. And it
No one
becomes a Wall
notices he's
Street
a
type
whale
movie?
because
No, he becomes a career gambler, and at one point he's at a
Kenny
casino,
Rogers.
and they say, "Oh, watch out for this one. He's a real whale,"
yeah.
and he just takes casinos for everything they have.
Like whales, apparently the smell coming off of a whale is pretty disgusting because the what comes out of their blowhole smells like rotting, like 6-month-old fish. So do you think anyone would notice that in the casino, or?
It would definitely give him away, but I think mostly the card counting would.
Now, can a whale survive out of water in a casino for that time, or would he have to hire people to be throwing salt water over him
Like
constantly?
misted
Yeah, I think he'd have people misting him and dumping water on him when he's at the craps table. But I think that would also be a power move. Look, I can afford to have these people do this.
Yeah.
This actually sounds like it could tie into a possible sequel to Casino. You know,
Scratch this. We're
But
going
I
back.
think-
Yep.
if they could include the gambler in there, why
Yeah.
not?
Kenny Rogers, even though he's dead, should be in the movie.
Is Kenny Rogers dead?
I think he's actually. We
I think you just killed him.
Shit.
I think he's alive.
Okay, well I'll look it up. Kenny Rogers.
I don't think he's dead.
Well, he's certainly not doing anything.
Who's
right
cooking
now.
the chicken at all those restaurants if he's dead?
He's alive, so I killed him.
Yeah,
But he's 80 years old and he's not doing a lot these days.
he's done
But
enough.
Kenny Rogers is alive, so let's get him in that Free Willy movie.
Yeah.
He's decided to fold them.
He's just sitting at the craps table with him, and he just gives him that advice. He doesn't sing the song. He just
It kind of sounds like, too, with the cyborg premise, that you've just created another sequel to Universal Soldier with Jean-Claude Van Damme.
Oh,
So you could throw
man.
him in there, too, and you've really got several sequels made.
I think
These are
this mashups are
mashups.
it's a good.
That's actually the wave of the future.
Good
Let's
genre
make a
here.
sequel that covers 3 different movie franchises.
True. Well, there was for a while. There was a proposal.
It'd be like Smash Brothers, but a movie.
There was a proposal that was in place for, Jonah Hill
Yeah.
and Channing Tatum. They were in that movie 21 Jump Street.
Yeah.
Which was a reboot
And
of the
there's
TV
a-
series.
Mash that up with the Alien movie with Will Smith. What is that movie?
Independence Day?
No,
iRobot?
no.
No.
They were wearing
Men in
suits.
Black.
Men in Black.
Oh.
So there was a proposal that they were going to put Men in Black mixed with 21 Jump Street.
Really?
But it never happened. So
Like with all 3 of the actors,
yeah. Well, I don't know if they had the original actors in place or
but just generally.
what the plan was, but that was the pitch. So mashups.
Yeah.
Good idea. Can you guys think of any? Mr. Dressup. Big Canadian reference. Do you guys even know Mr. Dressup?
Of course.
I know Mr. Dressup. Of course I do. I know his predecessor.
Who was that?
Predecessor?
Yeah.
I know his predecessor,
Yeah.
the Friendly Giant.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they were contemporaries, to be truthful.
Yeah.
So,
So
You
who
want
do
to match Mr. Dressup with someone?
Yeah. Who
Okay.
do you do that with?
what about Mr. Dressup and Mr. Rogers? Are they like they're neighbors? and they're
Apparently, they
actually,
were
like,
buddies.
They don't like.
They
each
knew
other.
each other.
Oh, they did?
They did. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, there you go. You were onto something.
Okay.
But they kind of, I don't know, the
They're
Jim
too- they're
Carrey
too
show
close.
Kidding is kind of based on that. Not
True.
Mr. Rogers, but no, on Mr.
A
Rogers.
Mr. Rogers-like character?
He probably doesn't know who Mr. Dressup is.
No,
Yeah.
he wouldn't. So the Mr. Dressup idea has really gone nowhere. He can't be
No,
mashed
that
up.
died in the water.
Yeah, that's true.
Like a
Scratch
cyborg
this. Yeah. Cyborg Mr. Dressup.
Oh,
There you go. Now, if you brought that back for the kids, that
Yeah.
would be something.
He's got a built-in tickle trunk.
Oh, he has an adamantium skeleton.
Yeah. Yep.
Can you imagine? I mean, if you know Mr. Dressup, if you grew up with him, he had his tickle trunk. He had Casey, who was later replaced by a random puppet whose name I don't know.
Yeah, I
But if
don't know.
you brought on Mr. Dressup with
Truffles.
the adamantium skeleton,
Adamantium skeleton Mr. Dressup.
and a movie, nobody would go see
He
that
can
movie.
feel, but he can't be hurt. There's not enough sequels to Fast and the Furious.
No,
Oh, there's
I
more.
think we
in
touched
the,
on this last time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know we
We
did.
need more.
There's absolutely enough sequels to Fast and the Furious, and now there's the spin-off Hobbs and Shaw. I'd like to see
So-
them years from now, like where they're in a senior's home, and there's one more heist.
with Mr. Dressup.
Yeah,
Maybe.
yeah. I think he'd be their natural leader. He's charismatic.
Like a Charlie.
I never saw him
Get a-
drive anything, but I bet you he's got pretty good reflexes. And
Maybe they can do like a driving Mr. Dressup kind of mashup.
Ooh, wow.
You know,
there's one point where they pause and he teaches everyone how to draw.
with the slightly pre-drawn like illustrations with pencil.
Yeah, and there's
You could
two
see
license
it.
plates that just happen to be Casey, and another one says Finnegan. Just a little nod to the show.
I tell you, it's a very good thing that Mr. Dressup wasn't filmed in HD, because you would have seen that he had previously sketched in his drawings
What are you
in
talking about?
HD. Well, I mean, he had pre-drawn.
What?
He had pre-drawn his drawings before he did them.
Uh-oh.
There was some pencil down.
You calling him a cheat?
He's a total fake.
You can say what you want about me and my mother, but I'll be damned if I'm going to sit here and let you trash a wonderful man, Ernie Coombs. Coombs,
The fact that you even know his name.
check out this gut tattoo.
Oh, okay. So
It's a real tattoo.
right there.
So Trevor has just lifted his shirt, and it turns out that there's actually a giant tattoo of Ernie Coombs on his belly.
Yeah, it was that or Pennywise from It, and I went with my heart, and I tattooed Mr. Dressup right there, right on my tickle trunk.
He has the tickle trunk there as well,
Yeah,
which is a really nice
on my tum-tum.
nice feature. The Mr. Dressup thing. So, do you guys remember Casey and Finnegan, or is that before your time?
I just mentioned them earlier.
Yeah.
You did. I
don't listen to
you.
anything I
no,
say.
No, I don't. I've got my own things going here.
I already name-dropped them.
But it's really quite abusive when you consider that Mr. Dressup left that child and his dog,
In
and
a tree.
they slept in a tree house. I don't think he allowed them in the house. They were never in the house.
Somebody trusted him with the care of their child,
Yeah.
and he's watching someone's dog, or it was his dog, but still neglect.
Were they orphans? Like, what was the deal there? We never got the origin story.
Just a tree kid.
Just a wild tree kid.
Yeah.
He should have been blue. He could have been a Navi.
Threw him scraps.
Yeah, they never showed that in Mr. Dressup. Him throwing him chunks of meat. Just chunks of ground beef.
Here's your dinner. You stay outside. I'm going to go in and talk to my owl clock. We are so sorry to the estate of Mr. Dressup.
He was a good man.
We have besmirched a hero.
That would have really, really made those episodes.
Yeah, this has
something
become too
special.
heavy of a Mr. Dressup episode, webisode, podcast episode.
This isn't even about sequels anymore.
No,
No. I mean, because Mr. Dressup, as far as I know, they never made a movie.
Yep. Let's look at my collection of movies that are actually right behind you
Okay.
and see.
I'm going to just pull a few out at random here.
Okay. Oh, you're really you just knocked them all down.
Just
A pile of
Destroying
movies
things.
just came out. Okay.
Something about Mary too.
Okay, well, that's not going to work.
There's something more about Mary.
That's too fun. None of these work. These are shit. Hold on.
I think Training Day could have got a sequel.
That one's been done.
That
Spider-Man
is a sequel.
3.
You just grabbed a whole
Spider-Man 2,
pile full of-
Spider-Man.
These are all sequels.
Spawn.
They're making a reboot of Spawn.
Traffic 2.
Traffic 2. Trafficker.
All right. I'm totally making a mess here. I'm just to give you the situation. I'm sitting with a pile of DVDs behind me on
And
a shelf.
Blu-rays.
Yeah. And I'm going to grab a few more now.
Okay.
Okay. Well, that one can't be done. Signs 2. Any ideas? These are really quick little spitball
I
ideas.
think the less movies we
ball
can have
spinning
actually
ideas.
directed by M. Night Shyamalan, the better.
Okay. We'll leave that one.
Okay.
Sideways 2.
I would like to see Paul Giamatti and Thomas Hayden Church reunite and go back for another trip to wine country, only to find that one has like an engorged liver or something from just drinking too much wine.
I think it's good. 7-2. Maybe it's called 8.
72.
Yeah.
14.
8.
7-2. No, it wraps up pretty neatly with that head in the box.
That's true.
Sorry,
Yeah.
spoiler alert.
What's in the box?
Yeah.
Nothing. Maybe it turns out it's all fine.
It actually is
Gwyneth
nothing.
Paltrow is okay.
He
She's
opens the
back at
box
home.
and it's in a cake.
It's a cake. The guy's a nice guy.
Yeah.
He totally misunderstood him.
This was all an elaborate birthday surprise, and you didn't know, and it's a cake.
I got to pull a few more. We're gonna have to clean this up afterwards, Derek. I'm sorry.
Sure.
Okay, I don't even know that movie. Oh, look, you've got Superman. Imagine
Yep.
if they made a Superman 2
Oh, that'd be wonderful.
or
Another Richard.
Super Bad 2,
Swingers 2.
Swingers 2.
Yeah, I bet you that'll happen.
I don't think I've seen it.
I don't think they'd try to get Big Bad Voodoo Daddy back as a band in it, but
I think it was directed by
Jon Favreau.
Jon Favreau. Who
He's in
went
it,
on
too.
to Iron Man,
yeah,
right?
this was a launching pad for his career. And
Is-
Vince Vaughn, too.
Is Free Willy in this movie?
Free Willy is not even that whale's name, but no, he's not in there.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't mind to see a Swingers where they're, again, a nursing home premise, or they've just kind of settled down with their lives and they need to go on like a girls' trip, like one last fling before something,
Sounds wonderful.
and just terrible fashions, but set now.
I feel like we should probably plug this movie in and then restart the podcast in about 2 hours' time.
Yeah.
So that I can comment on it.
It's not bad.
It is. It's
not great, but it's not bad.
I saw it like 15 years ago. I don't recall.
So you
it.
did see it.
Trevor, I see Indiana Jones on your shelf. Do
Yeah.
you foresee a remake of this?
I don't see a remake happening anytime soon, but they are going to have another sequel soon. Well, I don't know how soon, but there is
Okay.
supposed to be another sequel to Indiana Jones.
They should have stopped.
They should
At the
have.
third one, they should have absolutely stopped.
Hindsight.
They were great movies.
Yeah.
The fourth one that came out
Garbage.
raped my childhood.
Wow.
As they say.
You put
Is that
Shia
really
LaBeouf.
strong?
If you have something you care about and you put Shia LaBeouf in it,
Yeah.
you're already slapping something
That's
in the
true.
face. No, Harrison Ford apparently is interested in doing another Indiana Jones, is what I heard.
Because he's hard up for cash, or because
I think he recognizes what he's done to fans and he wants to make amends. Yeah. But I
Well,
bet you they'll reboot them at some
Indiana
point.
Jones: The Reckoning.
Yeah, The Reckoning.
Yeah.
With Free Willy as a sidekick.
Yeah.
Like,
a sideboard sidekick.
No, Mr. Jones.
I don't
He
think
just takes on the role
Short
of short
round.
round.
short
And they
round
just
cyborg whale.
Actually, why can't you redo the Temple of Doom
Yeah.
with Indiana Jones, but the sidekick is now Free Willy? Now think about
Yeah.
the beginning of that movie
Yeah.
where Indiana Jones crashes through the nightclub window, gets into the car, and then instead of short round, you've got Free Willy driving that car. No, Mr. Jones, we need to go to the airport.
Your
And for some reason, he's
impression
got
is
a
offensive.
racist Chinese accent.
Yeah. You need to have a roomy vehicle.
Yeah, no
It'd have to be a
kidding.
sedan.
This whale, and think about even now. Now they get in the airplane and they are they're going along, and then they realize the pilots abandon them. They have to bail out of the airplane, and Free Willy's taking up all the room on that. What is that? The dinghy.
The dinghy.
Yeah,
A
wouldn't
whale
be
on a
good.
dinghy.
Yeah.
I never thought I'd live to see the day.
No. And the whole fight scene between Free Willy and the prince. I mean, this is a totally different movie, and they could definitely reboot it.
I don't see any flaw to it.
Totally good.
I think
it'd
it's a
be
sure
better.
bet.
Totally good.
Now, there's technology now that allows you to substitute faces. You can take somebody's face and mash it onto somebody else's in movies. And,
This
and
was
do
done
this
in a
quite
movie.
easily. Could you do that with a whale?
I don't
It
see.
would save a lot of money.
I think you can do whatever you put your mind to.
It's true.
Yeah.
There can be miracles when you believe.
Yeah.
To quote
I've heard
Prince
that.
of Egypt.
I've heard that.
I'd sing it, but we'd probably have to pay for that.
I'm excited for another Pirates of the Caribbean movie.
No.
Well, here's the thing. I think
Never
that
liked the first one.
if they keep doing them, they're eventually going to catch up to our current time. And Johnny Depp is just going to play like a Captain Jack Sparrow who works at like Long John Silver's, the restaurant. but he is a software pirate.
Yeah.
He just pirates movies. Yeah,
A big twist there.
yeah, a modern day pirate.
That was always my idea, was that
You just watched them stream and download torrents. And,
Game of Thrones should be brought into the modern day.
oh yeah,
But then Will Smith went and made a movie about that whole concept, so there's no original ideas.
what movie?
It was a Netflix movie. Will Smith played... Was he an elf? Or I'm trying to reach my phone over a giant pile of DVDs here.
I think you've been hit on the head by some of these movies, and now your synapses are just firing randomly.
No, there was a movie about this.
Bright.
Bright.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
right.
I actually
So-
like Bright. It was pretty good.
You liked it? I haven't seen it.
It was
I watched
entertaining.
It wasn't terrible.
So
I didn't pay much to see it.
I just thought if you took the Game of Thrones, but you brought it into, or you took Lord of the Rings and you brought it into the 21st century, what would that be like? Would you still have elves? Would you still have like trolls, dwarves, all those creatures?
Yeah, but they probably wouldn't want to be called that anymore.
No,
No.
it'd be totally insensitive.
Yeah.
But yeah, somebody beat
We
me
do
to
have
it.
trolls now. Internet trolls. We talked about that last time.
I hate them.
Yeah. Except we found out you were actually an internet troll
That's true. I wouldn't do it anymore. I don't believe in it.
now that it's a thing.
You know, it's very hurtful to produce shit, though. To produce stuff, to put stuff out there on the internet, because somebody's always going to comment. Somebody's always going to make some comment that they don't like your stuff, that they don't like you. It hurts.
Yeah. It's like middle
So-
school, but a much wider range.
It's true, but at least they can't see us, so they have no idea what we look like here.
Yeah. Which
if
is a
you-
really benefit to this thing.
I guess
I
you
think they'd
could
be jealous.
you could make comments about our voices,
That's
but
true.
you have no idea what we look like, and
We're okay
all
with
look pretty amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
We're all wearing tuxedos too.
that's true.
Yep. Expensive ones.
I'm actually in my underwear.
Yeah.
I admit it.
It's
You have a
offensive.
tuxedo top.
Derek is in pajama pants. He doesn't call them pajama pants, but
Derek is holding a
not Derek,
baby
Trevor.
koala, and he's trying to nurse it, but it just won't latch. See, they don't know.
It just takes
whatever
more
we want.
practice, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's darling.
And we can add that sound effect in later, and you would have no idea if it's done well.
We're wearing
Latching
matching
koala bear?
Yeah. refusing
Just
to
look
latch
it
koala
up.
boys.
It's like if you go to the YouTube audio library, I'm pretty sure you can get koala bear latching is one of the sound effects. And if it's not YouTube, if you could add it, that would be great.
Actually, we shouldn't joke about this because if you have researched koalas as much as I have
Okay.
in my time, my own time, then you know they're actually quite dangerous. They're very violent.
Wow. Really?
Oh yeah,
Summer
a lot of
cat
people
was a
don't
backup.
think they
You
are, but
actually
they
wanted
are.
the koala first.
Is that only when they're latching or
When they're
just in
refusing to
general?
latch is the key thing.
So they freaking lose their shit.
When they have been enhanced by any degree with cybernetic equipment,
Yeah.
like the whale,
Yeah.
whole villages. Yeah.
Well, that's
Kill wallas.
koalas?
it's good to keep in mind.
Yeah.
I mean,
I'd like to see Free Willy the orca team up with a kill walla. He just rides on his back. He kind of controls him, kind of like the mouse from Ratatouille controls the human. Just digs his claws right into the back or like shoves a claw into his blowhole, just steers him.
would that be the equivalent of a,
No.
a braid on a Navi? Or
Oh, yeah. I think you were going to
Right?
say something else. Yeah, it would be the same idea. Just manipulations.
There's a lot you can do with that blowhole.
Feels like time for a break.
How big is a blowhole, anyways? Does anyone know?
It is exactly one width.
And you can bet those koalas are shoving those in the.
They are thrust forward with only their shoved in the whale, arms splayed out, screaming, "I'm king of the world," while they steer their murder vehicle towards the shore. All of this will be edited out.
I don't think so.
A blue whale's blowhole is about 20 inches in length.
Thanks for joining us for another episode of Pitch Guys. If you like what you hear, please subscribe and download to our podcasts on iTunes, Google Podcasts, or you can directly download at our website, pitchguyspodcast.com. You can find us on Facebook by searching Pitch Guys Podcast. Theme music for Pitch Guys is Aces High by Kevin